Hi everyone, Chuck here. For this video, what we're going to look at is talking a bit about some of the risk management activities and what we need to be thinking about and doing. So let me share my screen here with us all. Excuse me, and let's jump over to the whiteboard here. So from our last video, where we're picking up as we're coming up with these risk probability numbers, which are the multiplication of the likelihoods, the severities, the possibility we could miss it, and then we're ranking these risk probabilities here. And so what we need to do next, I'm going to jump to the next page here, is we got to figure out what are we going to do? We got to put a plan together and we got to start implementing it. And so basically when we categorize the type of risks here, I'm looking at my notes next to me here so I don't forget them. We're looking at things like, looking at the different risk events and what can we do to prevent them? What can we do to mitigate them? What are we going to do to recover from them? Can we turn around and possibly pool risks together so one solution can solve many different risks? What can we do to build resiliency so that if a risk event occurs, we're in a position to still withstand it and be left standing and keep moving forward, as well as from a mitigate, prevent, and recover standpoint. It's also possible we could maybe transfer the risk to somebody else via taking out insurance or having a third party take on the task for us. It's also possible we have to accept the risk if we've done everything we can, not feasible to ever prevent it from a financial standpoint or anything else. But of course, we better make sure we're documenting it. Okay. So let me read to you here. Let me stop sharing for a second here. And we've got to come up with plans on all these. What are we going to do for each of these? Who owns the plan? How long is it effective for? What's the backup plan? How do we audit it? So we've got to go through this whole project element to make sure that we've got everything in place with each of these elements. So what we're talking about here is performing activities that will help us prevent a risk event from occurring. Pooling is a technique to reduce the risk of things by reducing variation, resiliency, according to ASCM dictionary, ability to return to equilibrium after a risk event has occurred. So from a why is it important standpoint, what I wrote down here is because when risk events occur, businesses get disrupted, we're losing money and customers. So we have to have plans and implement those created plans to address the potential risks so we can minimize the downtime if an event happens. Now, from an impact standpoint, of course, less downtime, more uptime. Better chance our company sticks around, keeps running successfully, helps us maintain our future viability as a business. We're seeing more and more because we live in this world of, more volatility, more variability, that we have to think of these things and we have to put plans in place. And it's not just the known plans, but also what can we do to, I suppose you could call it, harden our supply chain so that when a risk event hits, we're able to see it coming. Even if we don't see it coming, we're still able to work during that event's occurrence and we're still left standing. So our supply chain is more resilient in the process. And that's where we look at resiliency a little bit differently than just managing a risk.